Hello, in this video I'm going to show you one of the secret hidden things that can be killing your content on your website. So this is a website that I stumbled across a couple of weeks ago when I was doing some research, and I want to make sure that you understand why this is important. Now, what I'm going to show you is this is a bunch of default content that was left on a website. So you can see there's video post format here. There's a whole page full of content that is just default content here. There's another one here as well, 3 reasons to focus on community building, a whole bunch of default content on here. You can see there's a hello world WordPress post, and there's another one here which has got welcome to WordPress, the classic WordPress hello world post, and you can see there's a whole bunch of text widgets on here. Now, the reason that this is important is because this is content that is still visible on this website and it's indexed by Google for this website. Now, where this content comes from is the default layout and theme that was chosen for this specific WordPress website. But it's not just restricted to WordPress, a little bit more common on there, but basically it's a sign of a lazy developer that doesn't care about your search engine optimization, or it's been a self-built website with very little knowledge about search engine optimization. When you buy a theme or buy a layout or use a pre-existing layout, it usually comes with a bunch of default content so that you can see what your website looks like. Now, what typically happens is you install the default content, then you tweak it and you customize it. Now, some developers will start from scratch, so they won't have any default content. But if you're using a theme, it's very common to have all this kind of stuff in there. And when you finish your website, you should really delete all of this crap, because basically it's taken up your search engine crawl budget. So when Google sees stuff like this on your website and it's completely unrelated to your business, you might actually end up with more default content than real content. So Google doesn't have a clue what your website's about, really. Now, okay, you may rank for your certain keywords, but if 50 to 60% of your site is default content about casinos and remote working, which has got nothing at all to do with your business, then Google thinks half of your content is about all that nonsense. If you delete all these pages, it's not going to get indexed by Google, and your content is going to be far more focused when Google says, what is this website about? So really good thing to do is just to check whether you have a bunch of default content in your website, because it can only take a few minutes if you know what you're looking for. So typically what you would do is you would put in your website domain here and put SITE colon and put in your website domain. Now this is a randomly selected website. I've got nothing to do with this website, but you can see these are all the pages that are indexed by Google, and there's only 2 pages of it. If I did that previous site that I was looking at, now I'm not going to do it because I don't want to give away which site it is, because it's very local to me. And if you did that on that website, you would see there's a whole bunch of stuff to do with casinos and hello world and technology archives and all sorts of gubbins that you don't want indexed. So it's important because you are diluting the value of your content on your website, and you're confusing Google what your website's about, and it's probably going to take longer to index the real content in your website when you make updates. So go in there, have a check. If you find pages like this, set up redirects to the real content, delete the original pages, get rid of them. If you want any help with this, get in touch with Fully Charged Media. I'm Darren at Fully Charged Media. We help make your digital marketing more profitable. So go and check your website today. It'll probably take you about 5 to 15 minutes, depending on what you find there.